Chapter 1, Mishnah 1. This chapter discusses cases where a court mistakenly permits a matter that the Torah forbids under the penalty of kares, and people follow that ruling, thereby committing a sin. Usually when a person unintentionally commits a sin that carries the penalty of kares, he is obligated to bring a chatas offering. Typically, a person sins unintentionally because he has made an error on his own. For example, he commits a forbidden act because he does not realize that the Torah prohibits it. This Mishnah discusses whether a person is obligated to bring chatas if he committed a sin because a court had mistakenly permitted it. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. If the court mistakenly ruled that it is permitted to transgress one of all the commandments stated in the Torah that carries the penalty of kares, and an individual went and performed this act, thereby sinning unintentionally based on the court's word, the law is as follows. Whether the judges themselves performed the act based on their own ruling and an individual performed it with them at the same time, or the judges performed the act and someone saw them and, following their example, performed it after them, or the judges did not do the act, but a person did the act based on their ruling. In all these cases, although this person unintentionally committed a sin that carries the penalty of kares, he is not obligated to bring a chatas offering because he relied on the court, and a person brings a chatas for an unintentional transgression only if he sinned based on his own error. In the following cases, though, a sinner is obligated to bring a chatas even if he sinned by following a court ruling. If the court mistakenly ruled to permit a forbidden action, and one of the judges realized that the other judges had made a mistake, or a student who is learned and fit to give halachic rulings realized that the judges had made a mistake, and he, that judge or student, went and performed that act based on the court's word, even though he knew that the court had made a mistake, the law is as follows. Whether the judges themselves performed the act, and he, the judge or student, performed it along with them, or the judges performed the act first and he did it after them, or the judges did not do the act but he did. In all these cases, he is obligated to bring a chatas because he did not rely on the court. Since this judge or student knew that the court had made a mistake, he cannot be considered to have relied on their ruling, but rather on his own judgment. Therefore, he must bring a chatas. The Mishnah sums up, this is the rule. One who relies on himself and unintentionally sins, that is, he makes an error based on his own judgment, is obligated to bring a chatas. But one who sins unintentionally because he relies on a court that ruled incorrectly is not obligated to bring a chatas.